Good afternoon, everyone. Hello to those I didn't see before. So I'm Elvina Nowak. I'm working for Alice ETP, European Technology Platform. I'm project manager and I'm managing this innovative project, Cristal, within these resilience clusters. I'm more than happy because Sir Nick Delmer is the vice chair of Alice, and being there meaning that we strengthen our relationship. So it's really good. So Cristal project, Renew project, Plotter project, or sister project under the same call in innovation action. And I'm really pleased to share with you what Cristal is envisioning to implement for supporting resilience of inland waterway transport and operation. But if I do not move my slide, it remains complicated for you to follow what I'm trying to explain. So what is Cristal? So just before, Cristal has just started on September. So we won't be able to provide or to share with you some results because we didn't start to implement some solution, but I will provide you a high level presentation of Cristal project. So Cristal is really focusing on inland waterway transport and infrastructure. We aim at creating and implementing innovative technologies for monitoring through digitalization solution for the whole transport chains. What we aim also to develop is and to provide and what is really needed in the frame of inland waterway transport, it's business models and management models along the multimodal chains. I forgot to mention that Cristal has the ambition also to tackle the physical internet vision. So they will integrate in the different use cases some physical internet principles, which I will share with you afterwards. So who creates the project? Yes, you can see that we are trying to cover the whole EU. So France, Belgium, and so on. And we have three river pilots, which are covering Poland, so the river Vistula and Odra, Italy, Po, and France, Moselle and Seine. So as you mentioned, Anton, here we are trying to overcome hurdles regarding the underutilized Po river and so on. So that's really challenging and ambitious, I would say. So as I said, I provide really an overview of what we envision to develop. So it will be really a high-level presentation. So what we want to do is to focus specifically on this smaller and commercially underdeveloped feedwater routes. So Po, as I mentioned before, that's what we want to achieve through developing innovative technologies and solutions. And what we want to develop also is, or to prove through Cristal activities, is that we can integrate these rivers who are underutilized within the European waterway system. So we have a lot of goals. Obviously, we aim at shifting 20% of freight traffic from land to inland waterway. We aim also at conducting 3 use cases, so in Italy, Poland, and in France. And the aim is to foster the reliability of transport by the use of synchromodality. So the synchromodality is definitely in line with the physical internet roadmap, which Alice is promoting so far since a long the what we want also is to integrate inland waterway transport along the multimodal chains. So that's quite challenging, but we assume that it will be feasible. Another goal is also to increase, and that's a main topic of this day, is to increase the resilience of infrastructures and operations in order to target also the climate change aligned with the EU policy. So, a lot of assumption as well, as you can see here. We want to tackle, as Anton, I think it's still you. We are aware that we are facing some climate issues, meaning low water level. We had the same problem in France, in Italy, I know that. And what we want to develop is to identify or to foresee the extreme weather situation and to ensure the capacity. So before we anticipate through technologies the low the weather situation, water level, and so on. We also want to integrate in our solution the use of recycled materials in order to achieve or to target this sustainability within the inland navigation. And the last but not the least, as I mentioned before, it's a really nice picture I'm drawing here, but to do that we need definitely to shape new business model governance, and we have to reach different boundaries. We have to overcome these boundaries. As on the map we can see that it's a lot of countries, so we have to, in order to increase or to achieve this incomodality, we have to connect institutional model and national stakeholders. In this way, we improve the collaboration between logistics stakeholders in the whole chain. To do that, wow, a lot of things will be developed definitely, but I won't be able to explain concretely what will be in a technical point. We will to achieve what we aim to develop. We will use the latest technological solutions such as automatic buoys. My colleagues from the three pilots will explain more in detail. We will develop sensors, business models, a decision support system, and open data platform for synchromodal resource planning and operation preparation. So that's really new in the EU, in the logistics EU framework, meaning that here within Cristal we want to propose a new synchromodal tool which is fully aligned, as I mentioned before, to the physical internet vision. So we want to address really challenging results, and we will manage to do that. So first of all, we will provide some new guidelines in order to create this new tool, which is a synchromodal transport corridor management system, which will enable the cooperation between stakeholders along the chains. We will obviously tackle the regulation, administration, business models, and management. What we will also develop will be a solution which will be able to monitor the water level, as I mentioned before, hydrological condition, including the river information system. These guidelines will be obviously extended outside the Cristal project level, but beyond, meaning local, European level, and why not worldwide? As I mentioned still before, is the objective, since we focus on the Po River, Meuse River, Vistula, and the other one, I forgot the name, it's because we want to integrate all these, I would say, routes inside the European framework. We want to give the chance to this small path, small routes, to increase their potential and to be more competitive in the European framework. So definitely Cristal, otherwise it would be a big problem, I guess. Cristal will contribute towards a seamless connectivity, not the project, but the connectivity between different transport modes with the aim to improve transport sustainability and to reach the Agenda 2030. Cristal will also take, or is taking also into consideration the flagship in the frame of the transaction plan 2021 to 2027. So that's a transition just to explain or to show you this map. It's not the same as IWNet, less creative, I would say. Definitely, we are tackling three aspects of the four. First of all, definitely, that's the main target of Cristal is to increase the use of inland waterway transport through the use of technologies and new innovative solutions, and to integrate the inland waterway transport in the whole chain towards reaching the synchromodality mode. More attractive jobs, I would say it's quite indirect within Cristal, but we demonstrate that inland waterway transport is not so, I would say, in the older version, inland waterway transport could be really attractive through the use of technologies. We could attract engineers, we could attract more people, and we make, I would say, inland waterway transport kind of sexy, I would say. Regarding the zero emission fleets, not a scope of Cristal, but we develop some paths or some solution in order to reach, I would say, the zero emission carbon footprint. For the smart waterway, definitely Cristal is integrating this topic, because we will use widely new technologies for monitoring, for improving resilience, for foreseeing, anticipating, and to tackle the climate change. We will also develop a new synchromodal corridor management system through the river information system improvement. So, roughly, Cristal project, it's 15 project partners. We have 12 work packages, so a lot of work to do. 36 months duration. We will have 3 pilot sites, as I mentioned, and the project will finish in August 2025. Project partners, so the consortium leader is Lukasiewicz. You can see the work package leader here for Naufer. A lot of partners are really well known in the EU project framework. VNF and other partners, Alice, Union Camere, and so on. So that's the structure of the project. So we have 12 work package. So the coordination will be the work package 12. We will have the work package 2, 3, 4, and 5, which are overlapping the work package 7, 8, and 9, meaning the river pilots. And besides, obviously, we will tackle the validation, the assessment, and we will disseminate, in which Alice is strongly involved. No. So it's time for me to give the floor to Union Transport team. Luca. So we will have the presentation of pilot in Italy, after France from VNF, and at the end Polish, and I will conclude at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvina. Good afternoon. Just a few words about our pilot. Our pilot is on the Padano-Veneta inland waterway. We took two branches, the River Po branches and the canal from Mantova, Tessero, Fissero, Canal Bianco up to Venice. There are several partners involved, in particular apart Union Trasporti and Union Camere, that are the project leader for this work package. We have Infrastrutture Venete, that is the operator infrastructure in the Veneto region. Then we have IPO, that is the other infrastructure operator that manage the area of Emilia-Romagna, Lombardia, and Piemonte. Then we have Sogesca, that is an engineering company specialized for the certification in the environmental section. Enea, that will develop some technology, and also we have some other foreign partner, the University of Antwerp, EUNEM, and EUMO. So please. In this pilot, we plan to test some technologies, in particular a new hydraulic model in order to forecast the depth of the river in some critical point, because the section, the Po River section is a free flow sections, so is important to forecast where the sand will accumulate in order to drag the river in time. On the basis of the result of this modeling, we have in mind to provide a new type of information to the consumer, to the shipper, giving the information about the navigability in the next 5-10 days. We also test acoustic emission for lock monitoring, but probably this technology will be discussed by our sister river partner from France. We test some sensor with fiber optic in order to estimate the height of the sand that is accumulated on the bottom of the river, in order to be able to estimate the height of the water. And finally, we also develop a feasibility study in order to implement a cold ironing facility in the inland port. Thank you, Elvina.
Thank you, Lucas. So now it's time for Stéphane to present a river pilot in France from VNF, Voies Navigables de France. I let you the floor, Stéphane.
Thank you. I will be quick. Voies Navigables de France is a public administration establishment which manage the French inland waterways. As you can see, we have a lot of hydraulic structures to manage, operate, and maintain. We have more than 4,000 hydraulic structures and more than 6,000 kilometers of artificial canals, rivers to manage. We are nearly on all the national part of France, and the river pilot is more concentrated on Seine downstream and Moselle River. So I'm only going to talk about two technologies that we are going to test in the French pilot. We are going to test these two technologies on locks to collect data. The aim is to improve infrastructure maintenance. The two technologies are radar inspection and acoustic monitoring. Both technologies will first have to be validated in laboratory by universities, and then they will be tested on site, subject to the compatibility of their implementation with the operating conditions of our locks. VNF will use this information, this data, to feed into the maintenance, renovation, and modernization program. The first technology to collect data is radar inspection. It's a transfer technology from the rail industry to develop a subsurface inspection system through non-destructive examination of waterway infrastructure. The technology, as I said, will be testing for the inspection of flock and for the inspection of the vertical walls of flock chambers. Newcastle University will provide visualization of defect, for example, cracks, voids, or rebar corrosion. Assessment and grading of defect severity to inform maintenance actions is a follow-up steps requiring data processing. I don't know yet if we're going to do this during the Cristal project. The second technology to collect data is acoustic emission. In fact, it works like a smart stethoscope to listen to doors, lock door, health status. The technology will be testing for monitoring lock gates and their monitorized equipment. The third Greek university will use models to create multi-dimensional cluster of points and to declare the good operation of the lock gate. It will use statistic models. Then it will provide the confidence of good operation of the lock gate. And more generally, during Cristal project, VNF will listen to waterworks stakeholders, French waterworks stakeholders, both infrastructure and logistics stakeholders, for their digitalization needs and for digitalization solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. So the last pilot from Poland, so the amazing team from the coordinator, Thomas and Tadeusz, I guess you are online. I leave you the floor. Otherwise, I won't be able to explain.
Will present as the coordinator of this part. Can you hear me?
Yes. So that it's your.
All right. I'm not sure if I'm the person who should present the slides because it was presented by Jakub before. Jakub, are you online also?
Yeah, I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. So I believe I can give a short outlook.
Do you see the
Just let me know
presentation?
if you, yeah, I see.
Okay.
Can you hear me correctly? Please just tell me if it's all fine. Well, represent the University of Gdańsk, the leader of the rigor pilot. And during the Cristal project and subject pilot, we're expecting to build new supply chain models and test it in practice in the connection between seaports and most probably Krespo-Pomorskie voivodeship within the Vistula River. We're expecting to verify the usability of in-and-out transport in a different type of cargo and different supply chains. We're expecting to check its usability in practice and verify the models for the containerized cargo, for the bulk cargo, and the general cargo, unitized cargo.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you because the sound is really bad. We have some echo, I would say, like wave. I don't know what, but perhaps it's your headset. I don't know. Oh, it's yeah. Here, it's fine. You can go ahead.
Okay. So should I repeat or where the sound issues started. So I could give short, let's say, repeat on the issues. As I mentioned, we're expecting to run and verify the business models for different types of cargo on the Vistula River. We're expecting to run the 3 different voyages with different types of cargo, starting from the containerized, the bulk cargo, and the general cargo. What has to be noticed and outlined that actually the inland waterway transport on Vistula River, for now it's building from scratch. As in general, as you see the data, it doesn't exist actually on a like a marginal way of transport in Poland. And on the other hand, let's say the request from the business side and from the supply chain, from the logistics economics, there is a strong interest to run such projects with existing infrastructure. So that is a good point and good start as to verify and to run the test and verify the supply chain models in practice to how to implement inland waterways from scratch with existing infrastructure on the, let's say, real supply chains. And I believe the technology will be much better clarified by the team from Lukasiewicz.
Right, no problem. So we are planning to implement the intelligent buoy system, which will be developed especially for this project. And it is supposed to monitor in real time the water levels. It should also count the barges crossing these rivers and the pilot part of the Vistula River. We also will be monitoring the environmental parameters during the barge transport, and we also will implement the communication between the buoy system and possibly with the barges or other part of the infrastructural monitoring. So we are now on the stage of investigating the parameters that are needed because of the lack of information in the system that is implemented in Poland, and we are investigating on what part of the river there is a need to install such buoys and to transmit the data in the real time. And I believe that's all.
Thank you so much. No addition? No, it's fine from your side? Okay. So
Right.
it's time to conclude. So thank you all Cristal partners for your commitment and for presenting your pilot sites. Just a few words to thank Nick and all the team for organizing this amazing week. It's a good opportunity for us to create new synergies between EU projects, even if sometimes we do not tackle the same topic, but finally we aim at decreasing the CO2 footprint in logistics in Europe. And I would say thank you. I'm looking forward to discussing with you afterwards with a strong beer. Thank you, Nick. So if you have any question afterwards meeting, do not hesitate to reach the coordinator team. So Martina, thank you also for preparing this event with me. Oh, yes, I will do my best to answer because we are just starting. So.
Thank you for the very interesting presentation. In the beginning of the presentation, you referred to the open data platform for synchromodal applications, and I'm very curious about that. I'll be talking about Renew in half an hour, I think, and there we also look at these type of digitization solutions. So I was wondering, is that something that comes back in all the different use cases, or is there a specific way in how you want to implement this and how you look at this specific platform?
That's a good question, I would say, because within our Alice team, we were wondering the same question regarding this open data, which is really challenging and ambitious. I assume that it will overlap all River pilots through the collection of data we will have through the use of different technologies. So that's the main innovative solution with the synchromodal tool, which we will develop. So it proves that finally our AU project are really have really synergies, and we have to cross-fertilize for the stake of inland waterway transport. Oh yeah.
Well, not really a question, but a remark. Could you next time in your presentation put pictures of real inland vessels? All of your pictures are maritime vessels, and I think this is very confusing and very annoying. Thank you.
Okay, I note. Alesh, if you are here.
I had the same question. What types of ships do you use on rivers? But they seem to me to be short sea vessels. So we had the same question.
Luca, Stefan, I assume it's a barge, simply. Feeder.
Well, she did that on purpose. I can tell you, yeah, to make sure that you were still paying attention. So the fact that you asked the question is a guarantee that you paid all attention. Yes, you can come back tomorrow. You're allowed. Not yet.
Anton, do you have a smart question to address?
I think it's very interesting.
Great, thank you.
There was a serious question.
Yeah, I have just. Hello, it's Guang from IMEC. I have just very general questions focusing on the main motivation of the project. Can I understand that as the main KPI is to switch a number of cargo transport loads from maybe road to inland waterways, or do you also expect some optimization in the global logistic chains in terms of time, cost, and emissions by proposing a synchromodality approach?
So you point the both KPI we want to achieve, meaning that we want to increase the use of inland waterway by shifting freight from road to inland waterway, and at the end, through this open data platform and synchromodal tool, we want to strengthen the role of inland waterway within the multimodal chains, so to integrate with other modes inland waterway to achieve this synchromodality, which is quite challenging, I would say.
How do you measure the performance of the outcome?
I would say I don't know. No, at this stage, I'm not able to provide or to answer to your question because we didn't start the pilot. So I think during the project, we will learn and we will be able to have more feedback and to find the good path in order to feed, for instance, the open data platform. So with all partners, definitely I think we will have, we'll be able to answer to your question, but I would say in 12 months. It's too early at this stage, I would say.
Okay, Arnoud Burgess from Pantea. It comes to my mind that maybe, and that counts not only for your project, but I think for every project that was presented today, is that you do some sort of test on which living labs or pilots or whatever you want to call it are eligible for CEF funding, or at least that you do a test on in terms of whether they are on the core network or on the comprehensive network, what kind of topic, and maybe there is also a cross-fertilization towards CINEA to say, okay, we are undertaking this, and maybe that can be something for the future to be funded, and that overcomes, I think, the valley of death, as was already mentioned today. So it's just an advice, but my main question then to you is, I think the PO, would that be something for CEF funding, and maybe also for Antoon there to give that investment, and so a more close cooperation between. But okay, that is my question and remark.
If I may, Luca, you should answer to the PO question, and I think you are the right person to answer to this question.
Okay, the Po River is part of the Mediterranean corridor. So it's part of the core network. Of course, there are a lot of other projects along the Po River. One of is this one. There are also other projects developed with the involvement, for example, of IPO. That is the infrastructure manager, and also Infrastrutture Venete. There is another project that is in WIN. Another project is Views, and of course we try to optimize, to leverage the results of this different project. So in principle, I hope that in the future, for some of the call of the CEF, probably will. I don't know if IPO is not my company, so I cannot answer for them. But probably some Italian partner involved in the Po River business could present some proposals.
My name is Claudia Ciucă. I am representing the Commission, more specifically CINEA. One of the main aspects of the call was that the pilots will take place on CEF corridors. So what you will see, the pilots should be CEF corridors. So if you identify a pilot not linked to a CEF corridor, maybe you should highlight it that this is not one of the aspects that should have been. But all the tests should have been tested. All the pilots all the projects should include minimum 3 CEF corridors. Minimum 3 CEF corridors pilots plus extra additional work if the project would want to test other solutions outside the CEF corridors. So I don't remember if there was only related to CEF corridors piloting or other aspect that you were asking.
And also in some cases, projects on the comprehensive network can support the core network. So that is one element you could consider. That's
true, but one of the main conditions of the call was CEF corridors plus extra.
Okay, good.
We were looking at CEF corridors.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your attention.